Peace, peace. Happy now. Now the vibrate, of course. We're not going too far in the future. We're not going too far in the past. Right now, I want to speak on how they have two types of memory in essence. We have, or should I say, memories. We have memories that help us to get out of this matrix. We have memories that keep us in this matrix. And one is more so about attachment. You know, we have these certain memories of this life. You know what I'm saying? Like in this lifetime, because we reincarnated beings, in which it could also be a memory of being attached to a past life on Earth. On Earth as well. But the certain types of memories that have to deal with our not say that it's just about earthly experience, but it's our earthly experience and being attached to it. Those memories that in essence we are attached to. You know, and it would, and in essence, it'll be memories we are attached to plus being memories in this earthly matrix for you to be trapped in it. Because say, for instance, if I was attached to a memory to get the fuck out of here, you know what I'm saying? That's different, you know what I'm saying? That's going to help me to get the fuck out of here. But if I'm attached to a memory, of experience on this earthly plane, my soul resonance is going to be too heavy, you know what I'm saying, to leave out of the matrix in essence. And it's just like a equation, like if your memory, like if those of y'all familiar with algorithms and computer science, they got a thing called if statement. And the if statement is kind of like the power behind what allows people to interact with, software, you know what I'm saying? Like if statement would be like, if player one presses button A, make Mario jump, you know what I'm saying? If this and that. So if soul attached to earthly memories, make soul stay here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an algorithm set in place. You know what I'm saying? And there's no way around the program, because in essence we didn't write the program. Just like how playing a Grand Theft Auto or San Andreas, in essence, you go to you can't really, not say you can't, I don't like to use the word can't, but it would be very difficult for you to like, oh, I don't want CJ name to be CJ. I want it to be something else. Then you would have to go in there and go through that extensive, through that extensive algorithms and codes, and have to, remix that and change that, And again, that's like what part of playing the game is agreeing to the game. Before you play San Andreas, that, all right, the player named CJ, he's in the place called San Andreas. He got a partner named Ryder and a partner named Big Smoke. You know what I'm saying? And that's the vibe. Like if I'm playing this game, this is what I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? These characters in these situations. And again, playing the game without being attached. It's like just like that analogy too of playing a game, like how some of us, we had that strong tag, like, bro, I gotta play San Andreas, like, I gotta play the game, you know what I'm saying, like you compared to where you love it when you're playing a game, but you're not attached to it, you know what I'm saying, where it's like, bro, I love playing San Andreas, but a friend come by, or this and that, something else pop up, oh, all right, San Andreas, I'm gonna holler at you, when I get back to you, I get, you know what I'm saying, there's a difference, So again, with the memories, we have memories that keep us attached, keeps our soul heavy. Again, everything goes back to weighing the heart against the feather. And what's real, you'll start to see, no matter, what person you're dealing with that's speaking on this type of information, whether they refer to weighing the heart against the feather, or the Saturn and Moon matrix, or making your soul go through the heart of the sun. We all generally talking about, your soul shouldn't be attached to this matrix, and if it is attached to this matrix, it's gonna stay in it. You know what I'm saying? Just like algorithm, And so nothing is wrong with with memories, but it's when we too attached to them, and especially again too attached to the memories of our existence on this earthly realm, whether it be this lifetime or past lifetime. It's like, I remember past life when I did this, man. I want to still to do that. It's like, uh, and again, nothing is wrong. There's a difference too. Of course, we want to work out our karma, but we're not trying to go backwards. Like, let me go back to this lifetime and then just start playing this role again. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, And again, we're dealing with past lives. It's for reference with relevance to our now. You know what I'm saying? It's not for us to be like, oh yeah, I was a wizard in the past. Like, look at me, I was a mermaid, and just like, oh, this just is our past life. Like just using it as miscellaneous information, or just to say, oh yeah, I was this in the past life, or I was that, and not using it to actually help you on your sole purpose of realizing what you came down here for, and doing your work so you can get the fuck out. If you planning to get the fuck out, some of us, maybe staying, uh, some of us by ignorance, some of us by choice, you know. Again, and you see why our relationships, because even down, in fact, shout out to Brother Rich. Always gotta give a shout out. Because I came across a video where he brought up, like, we're dealing with human merit, like, fuck, when my grandmother transitioned, or like, are you a parent and your child gets sick, you know what I'm saying? You gonna feel some type of love, and so does that mean you should be cold? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, fuck that, I can't show no love because that's gonna make me attached to the matrix. No, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, that's why the subconscious work is so important, to get to a place where you know that you are, source, soul, energy on a human experience, you know what I'm saying? Get that locked into the subconscious, so as you're experiencing these things, like when I'm dealing with my mom, I'm always conscious of, this is some soul that I done had, the past relationships with, and we working out some type of karma right now, like this. Of course, in the flesh, hey, that's mom, the portal I passed through to be here in this physical realm. But at the end of the day, also, again, the end all be all is that, me being Corey or being my mom, like, that's not our true existence, but it is our existence in this moment. Now is the vibrate where I'm at right now. Right now I'm in a human bodysuit. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm dealing with physical thing. Right now I tap this screen, and and my finger touched it. You know what I'm saying? As much as atoms, have 99.9% empty space in it, it also take up space in essence again. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just the paradox of our existence as well. But realizing too is just balancing about, you are a spirit or a soul, and you are in a human body. You know what I'm saying? So you're dealing with both of those aspects right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one. It's not putting the body over the soul or the soul over the body. Because again, that's where we have this somewhat, we create like a bipolar like nature, and bipolarness don't exist in essence. And if it was something, it would be a spiritual disease of the body, and not something to be diagnosed by some fake pills that's gonna try to kill you. But it's like a battle between the masculine and feminine energies within you in essence. And it's about us bringing those energies together, creating that balance, instead of that inner battle between the quote unquote left and the right brain, or the yin and yang energies within our bodies. As above, so below. What's going on inside of us is going on outside of us. We got you know, the battle of higher nature versus lower nature, but it's not even a, it shouldn't even be a battle. That's the whole thing. You know, it's more so like, and I even say that it, well, not really. It's not a battle as much as it's just us taking care of energies that we need to take care of, you know, and not necessarily battling. Like, because when I'm taking care of my shadow energy, I'm not necessarily battling against my shadow energy. You know, I'm, in so many words, I'm facing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta, you know, stand up and face that shadow energy, face that shadow self to shine that conscious light on it, you know, because when light is shining in a certain area, you know, a shadow no longer exists. But also the irony of that, though, we are light beings and constantly shining light, meaning there's gonna be a constant shadow that exists as well. You know, but back with the memories, you know, like the memories that we have of, you know, like being in star system, you know, like memories of being outside of this human experience, you know, would help to you know, detach us from this physical realm, and more so not say necessarily help as much as just those types of memories are not gonna hold you into this matrix, because it's not about being attached to this place. You know, you having a memory of like when you wasn't in this place. You know what I'm saying? Almost like being in jail and dreaming about being free. You know what I'm saying? Dreaming about being free while you're in jail not gonna you know, add to the energy of keeping you in jail. You know what I'm saying? Compared to you getting attached to jail and constantly, you know, having a, you know, this constant memory, rebringing memories of being locked up and constantly, you know, being attached to those memories. Man, I remember when this and that. Ain't nothing wrong with again reminiscing, but reminiscing when it's relevant to the now, you know. But again, you got memories that lock you down in this matrix, you know, and there's memories that really help us to get out of this matrix. Because again, like remembering a past life, you know, then we could remember, oh, I was, say for myself, like a wizard that fuck over people. So all right, now I know that's why I'm here, or that's part of what I'm working off, is that energy of me, you know, messing over people. I'm working that out. So like now I know, you know what I'm saying? And which again, that's back to the point too. All memories from the earthly plane may not keep you attached. You know, again, it's all on how on how you know, deal with it and look at it. You know, because again, I could be going back or dealing with a memory of being on this earthly plane, but I'm dealing with that memory in a way to help me understand how to move on my spiritual growth. You know what I'm saying? That's different. Again, we're talking about memories where you are attached. Like, man, I remember my first bike. You know, like, man, that bike, you know what I'm saying? Like, and overly being attached to stuff like that. Of course, that was a good memory, man. You know, I remember my first bike too. But I'm not gonna get to a place of being so attached to it to where, again, you start to subconsciously program, constantly being in that memory and constantly, you know, getting in that vibration of attachment. You're gonna create a stronger vibe of that within your, you know, your physical being, but within your soul signature as well. You know, so your soul gonna be picking up on that energy. So when you transition, again, and you are your own judge, you know, you basically like, you know, like that video that I made about you know, the quote unquote afterlife or the death experience, where, you know, higher self gonna be like, man, you remember that bike you used to ride, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, your higher self gonna play with, not say play with you, but I mean, it's, you asked for this. We all asked for this in the first place. So, you know, coming out of this motherfucker, we gonna get tested, you know, sternly, you know, ain't gonna say it's well, but we're gonna get testosterone that, on that level, on a straightforward, level. Like, I don't know, like, we out of the human body now, so it's like straight up, like, and the high self gonna be like, man, you remember your first bike, this and that, and then you could either have the, the vibe of like, oh, man, that was just a human experience, that was part of the experience. Like, that bike wasn't nothing. That was a bike that I was using while I was in that matrix, Compared to, oh yeah, man, I remember that bike, man. I love riding bikes, man, this and that, and bro, and when the wind go through your hair, and attachment to that physical, you know what I'm saying, to your old memories, attachment to, being on this earthly plane. Again, being in this world but not of it, does that mean that I don't enjoy every moment of being in this existence? No, like, I enjoy every moment, I enjoy every interaction, but I'm in a conscious awareness that every interaction, every moment I enjoy is a part of the experience, a learning experience in this physical matrix. And these are things that I shouldn't get attached to, but at the same time enjoy while I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's like it should be treated like if somebody gave you a car to ride in and say no matter what kind of damage or nothing, that you do to it, you good, just go for it, and it's like, being attached to that car, you would be like, oh no, but I don't want to, even though that person gave me just freedom to do whatever I want in it, I want to, I don't want to harm it, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, that wasn't necessarily a good analogy for what the perspective I was trying to give. But it's basically like, because I was like, like being attached to things, again, where you had that freedom to just deal with, to have fun with it, but then you trying to be attached to it, It's like you got that freedom to go ride, go do, pop a wheelie, hit a donut, you know what I'm saying? You got that freedom. But here it is, you want to be attached to the car, you know what I'm saying? You want to, well, no, I want to drive slow and cherish every moment, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, getting a little more attached to it. As a matter of fact, the car analogy, but again, not so much, because dealing with our bodysuits, of course we here to, we're not trying to be attached to our bodysuit, but we're also taking care of our bodysuit. So of course, like, so say for somebody get, with that same analogy, giving you freedom to drive that car and not caring about any damage. But that just because they're saying they don't care about you damaging that car doesn't mean that I should take it and go drive it off a bridge, just because they said don't damage. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with our bodysuit. Just because we got the free reign, like, be free, like, expand, try different things, do this, it's all right if you damage it. But that doesn't mean I'm going out here and trying to damage it. Again, you realize the certain level of balance, It's like, of course this exists, but that doesn't mean we should be way on this extreme. Like, of course souls exist, that don't mean we should be way on the extreme. Of course human bodies exist, but that don't mean we should be way on the extreme. But if I realize that I'm a soul and a human experience, and I just, allow them things to mesh together and balance and integrate, that'll help for the great experience, just like with taming the dragon. In a movie, you see, like, when the dragon ain't trying to do nothing or spitting fire back at the person, it's like you can't do, how I'm gonna operate. That's like, again, being in battle, or like that bodysuit, being in battle between your bodysuit and your soul, because again, it's about mind, body, and soul balance. It's about thought, emotion, and action balance, masculine and feminine balance, yin and yang, it's about balancing these energies and not being on the extreme of, like, again, all the way in the body or all the way with the soul, because again, the body is like the dragon, the soul is like that person, trying to tame that dragon. you know, and when they beefing, you know, nothing getting done, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just both sitting there beefing, bickering, the dragon throwing flames at the man, he trying to duck, you know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck. The man trying to over control the dragon, and the dragon like, come on, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, it you know, that's kind of like our relationship with our bodysuit in essence. You know, and again, back to the memory vibe. You know, dealing with certain things and attachment to it. You know, again, I love my mom, my family members, all this. But I know we all souls on a human experience, you know, like dealing with each other in essence, because we have some type of soul karma, you know, that we working out and dealing with, you know what I'm saying, compared to the perspective of like, oh, that's my mama and that's all she is, and that's my dad and that's all they are, you know. It's like, nah, it's more, you know what I'm saying. And just recognizing this with your conscious mind, it doesn't change your subconscious mind like automatically. Like, you got to recognize this and constantly give your subconscious mind evidence of you being a spirit or a soul or a human experience. And I always tell people, you know, as we start off on our spiritual growth, you know, one of the ways that you kind of get like a, you know, proof to the subconscious, and when you start to see the synchronicity, you know, and start to see these different connections and downloads add up, and then, you know, that's just giving you more and more evidence, and then as you're getting that evidence, you know, do research and stuff like that, you know, connecting you more and more to that energy, you know. And that would yeah, I kind of came out of that thought. but you know, it's about, again, you got, oh, and that's what I'm talking about, the love, you know, loving our family members, loving our experience. Oh yeah, and as a matter of fact, you can go check out my video on subconscious program, where I got more than one, but the one that's right under the Truman Show alienation video part 1 and 2, I got a subconscious video right by that one. That one was a pretty good one. And again, a lot of these videos getting longer and are long because they, you know, again, the reason why, you know, a lot of us have come across confusion with our spiritual growth is because we haven't been getting the full stories of things. You know, we get a half-ass version of the law of attraction, or, you know, a half-ass version of dealing with the feminine energy, you know, like, well, you know, all right, the feminine rising, but that's not for us to go into an imbalance of being all the way, you know, feminine, because we're going to start the same thing over again, you know what I'm saying? Like allowing, you know, quote unquote, history to repeat itself and go through the same bullshit, the same cycles. Not about one side going against the other. It's about integrating these energies, you know, within us. And as we integrate these energies within us, you know, and we connect with our soul, we're gonna start to be inspired to take certain actions. You know what I'm saying? And as we take those actions, that's gonna help to bring that same balance that's within you externally into the world, you know. Like, so that's how, you know, because it's not about just the inner work. It's not about just the outer work, you know. You know, you are a soul, an eternal soul first and foremost. So, you know, kind of like that's the, you know, you go inward, you know, deal with soul. Because, you know, soul is like also like, you know, that hawk flying in the sky that see what you can't see from your human perspective. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, you want to, you know, like if I'm about to go somewhere, you know, a matter of fact, you in the field of battle, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I'm walking, I would like to know, I would like to holler at that fighter jet, or that, you know, that the eyes in the sky and back, hey, what's going on over there, down there, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Before I would take that action, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the situation too. You know, realize, you know, high self first and foremost, and then, you know, inspired action. But it's not about just one. And of course, you know, in this unique experience, you know, with so many different unique vibrational signatures, you know, and you know, soul signatures. You know, we all different on our spiritual growth and gonna handle, you know, these different things in different ways. But for the most part, we all gonna have this basic understanding of, you know, hey, we souls on the human experience. We gotta, you know, learn about this inner universe and balance out this inner universe. And then as I'm, you know, understanding this inner universe and balancing it out, I'm gonna be inspired to do something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna be sitting around just, you know, always doing, you know, reading books about this. So, you know, with some of us different than others, you know, as far as the level of being, you know, studious about it. But, you know, again, what was I? You know, talking about learning, I can't remember. It is what it is. Matter of fact, acceptance of self. You know, accept yourself. Don't feel guilty. Don't bash yourself. You know, one of the strongest vibrations of alchemy is acceptance. You know, like when I ate that gumbo, you know, gumbo had all kind of meat in it. It was acceptance, you know, that allowed for me to not fall off the deep end. You know, it was like, and it was other vibes that went into that as well, you know. But you know, for the most part, you know, me not being mad at myself and you eat that gumbo, because all that and looking at it as if it's something like this is bad, then your body gonna be like, oh, this is bad, oh, you shouldn't did this. So you creating guilt, you know, you stressing yourself out from your mental, and then you're scaring yourself about the food. So the food actually gonna, like the placebo effect, you know, the food is actually gonna, you know, if it wasn't gonna harm you at first, it definitely will now, because you're giving it that mental, you're giving it that green light. You know what I'm saying? By feeling like it's something that you should be scared of. Like, oh man, I done ate that food. I was probably gonna mess my stomach completely up. Like, well then don't do it if you're having that mentality about it, stepping into it. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're gonna create that situation for yourself. You know. But again, the two types of memories. Memories that, you know, keep you attached to the matrix, the ones that help you get out. Because I was even thinking you probably could have an attachment, I about to say, to a past life memory that may be an unearthly memory, but because of the way you were attached to that memory within your physical being, you know, it may keep you in the matrix. But I don't know, that's just me kind of, you know, just flowing, letting things come as they come. You know, that's another thing too, us getting to a place of, you know, being so, you know, true to our soulful selves and not giving a fuck what nobody gonna think about us, or, you know, that's what the true energy is, you know. Matter of fact, shout out to Flight Boss Archangel Uriel. Matter of fact, I was vibing with one of his videos yesterday, because that's another thing for myself too, getting back into that place of you know, ironing, like making sure, like, the ego will hide in these little sneaky little places. So like lately myself, I've been working on the vibe of making sure I haven't been stubborn about learning from other people. You know what I'm saying? Like feeling like I could, you know, only learn from myself, or, you know, because of course, you know, the truth, you know, of course, first and foremost, you know, you got that inner gnosis, you know, but you definitely have, you definitely can get insights and information and, you know, enlightenment from, I'm not saying enlightenment in essence, but, you know, you could get, oh, well, I'd say just aha moments, you know, I won't necessarily use the word enlightenment, but, you know, but you could, you know, receive these things from information from, you know, a quote unquote reflection. But you know, it's all about us, you know, being true to our soulful selves. You know, that's why, like, again, you start to see, you know, what spirit is about, being straightforward, you know, up front. It's not about us no longer being tamed by these human morals. Like, say for instance, to give you an example, look at kids. You know, a lot of kids, before they get indoctrinated by their parents, you know, they cutthroat with the way they ask questions. And it's not cutthroat, like it's only, again, it's only seen as cutthroat, or damn, that's blunt truth, or that's, you know, that truth is very blunt. Like, no, that's just truth, motherfuckers. Everything's so fake and false in this motherfucking world that somebody speaking truth is like an outcast, or they bad, like, you know, that little kid, you know, because again, like, and my brother said that about, you know, dealing with his, you know, with his kids, you know, with the family, where, you know, family may not be up to pace with, you know, information and energies, so they see the little kid as a little smart ass, this and that, because again, you know, us being from the South, you know, you gotta respect your elder, even if they say some dumbass shit and it don't make sense, you gotta respect them and listen to them, you know, no matter how stupid they sound, you know, and it's time for that shit, you know, to cease to exist. You know, of course, we want to still respect our elders. We're not trying to just disrespect them, but it's time to hold, you know, hold each other accountable on that level. You know, like, all right, you know, I respect you, but if you're not reading and doing things that are, you know, if you're not considering logical reasoning and intuitive reasoning, you know what I'm saying, then how could I even listen to you? You know, you're not even, you know, being the mature elder to be respected, you know what I'm saying, or, you know, or to be listened to, you know what I'm saying. So you know, with that vibe, and then back again to that straight up truth, you know, the little kids come out, you know, like, you know, why you do this, why you do that, you know, like what that crystal do, you know what I'm saying, why human beings like to smoke knowing to kill them, you know, like that, like little kids ask them raw straight up questions, and you see, like, say for instance, and you done seen it before probably, you know, and then they probably promote it in movies to make the little kids, you know, you disrupting things when you asking questions, but like a little kid that'll be straight up like, you know, like well, why do y'all smoke, and you know it kills you. Oh, be quiet, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and again, that's that energy. You start to see that this is also, as much as we are in human body suits, this is just all about energy. It's like one energy trying to, you know, suppress another one on some misery, love, company type of vibe, you know. Because I watch certain energies move through people even when they're not really noticing it, you know. Like, especially like on your growth, you know, being a quote unquote light, or, you know, like a star seed energy in essence, you know, what was I gonna say? I know it's something dealing with attracting that energy, but but again, it's about us, you know, being true to our souls, you know, and in a lot of cases that's gonna be in a place that society, because again, social engineering, they've been working, they knew we were, you know, gonna be awakening right now, so they created a type of social platform to make, you know, certain people look strange and look crazy, you know what I'm saying, because they knew, you know, to a certain extent, I say to a certain extent, they knew that this time was coming, you know, so they've been since the Holocaust and way before that practicing and using certain chemicals and, you know, the certain weapons, you know, confiscating Nikola Tesla information and, you know, dealing with all kind of stuff. Matter of fact, I forgot the lady name, but the brethren brought up a book talking about Nikola Tesla. Well, there's a book where a lady was speaking on how Nikola Tesla technology was used for the 9/11 situation. As a matter of fact, go check out that video. I think is Mark Passio video on what it is, Nikola Tesla, like the dark side of Nikola Tesla's energy or inventions, but by Mark Passio. If you type in that Nikola Tesla power, because on the video, because I never seen the videos of the towers with the airplanes and the towers in a long time, you know. Like I kind of like I'm one of them people where if source don't just really have me knowing for sure, or like, you know, like some of us are here to, you know, not say like I'm not here. Let's just say that, you know, that's not my particular situation. I wasn't, in essence, you know, like source wasn't giving me like, oh yeah, those planes will automatically fake. Like, you know, I wasn't getting fed the information to debunk that situation. You know, that was for other souls, you know, because again, we all got different little karmic ties to different little situations as well, you know. It might have been some souls that in the past, like they did some shit to make a plane crash or so, you know what I'm saying, or to kill a group of people. So in their karmic release of that past debt, you know, that past energy, you know, in this lifetime, they were actually souls who spoke out against, you know, a fake airplane crashing or airplane crashing to build, you know what I'm saying? Like, so since I wasn't part of that karma, that's why I didn't feel that strong urge to speak on, you know, that information. And what I said was kind of like, not to my own horn type of it, but it's kind of like a profound vibe of like you see, you know, again, like back to that, like when I talked about the video of the situation with reincarnation logic, like the logic behind, you know, why would I come back as a little baby that would just transition as soon as I, you know, get here, you know, like, you know, it's like it's certain lessons that we set up in a certain karmic energy, you know, like not only for individuals but also for groups, you know what I'm saying, you know, like your family members, you and the family members in past lives may have forgot about, you know, the spiritual teachings and were cursed by thinking you got some type of disease, like, oh, this runs in our family, and then now you come to this lifetime and that karma is still there, like, oh, we still believe that people in our family died from cancer, you know what I'm saying? And two, you see why some of us, you know, are in, like, well, we the only ones in our family that's kind of like with this level of awareness, you know, again, transmuted that karmic debt, you know, in essence. And not to say like we doing work to just for them, in essence, you know, they got to do their own work as well, but part of us being in that family is, you know, to help that for that work to be done, at least give a chance for it to be done. And, you know, those family members who, you know, realizing like, all right, let me learn this and get the fuck out of here. Some might, you know, not, you know, can't get attached to the outcome. It is what it is, you know, with the information out there. You know, I'll catch y'all in another one, you know what I'm saying? You might not be my sister, might not be my brother, might not be my mama, you know. And if I don't catch in another one, look, it's all, you know, it's all love, you know. Again, because we knew what we was doing and getting into before we came down here, you know. So we had that whole vibe. And again, forward back, you know, the memories, you know, not trying to be attached. You know, you got memories that help you to get out of this place, you know. Like, say, for instance, I think about the little book, you know, and as I'm and two, because I'm speaking on this, because I think about the book by Dwayne Dwyer, and again, with this New Age movement, I found myself, you know, doing this indirectly, because as much as I felt like I dipped into the New Age movement, I realized that I still was kind of like hedging my bets when I would talk and speak, like where I would speak on it, but just not all the way just dump all my cards, you know, all my however they say that, putting all my chips on that bet, you know, in essence, you know, I felt it, you know, going through it, but that's what I was gonna say with me referencing some of these books again, you know, a lot of this information, we are old souls, going through this situation of, lose, like we, fell and lost a lot of our information. Now again, we do have the inner gnosis, tapping into the knowledge within ourselves. But, also, again, the balanced book knowledge does help. It's just not getting lost in the book knowledge and realizing, again, that certain books and certain information people are speaking also with an agenda within it, you know what I'm saying? So in essence, whatever don't resonate with you or feel like it's trying to, control you to do something, don't vibe with it. The things that, that you feel that your soul and intuition is really pointing to you to, to grasp, you grasp it. Because, it's a fact that Aldous Huxley, Carl Jung and these guys, work with Tavistock Institute, was funded by Rockefeller and J.P. Morgan. But that doesn't mean that when I read some of Aldous Huxley literature and also possibly reference it, that like say for instance, because I'm reading it doesn't mean like, oh, now I'm a part of it. Now I'm just like, well, no, I'm reading the parts that's helpful and beneficial to my soul and using it to grow from, and then sharing that the beneficial parts of that information with others. And again, that's why too, it's always at the end of the day about having your own discernment and doing your own research with dealing with information, because it's your job anyway to not just take everything I'm saying at at face value. You of course they're gonna have some things that resonate strongly, because again, some of us are strongly intuitive, and psychic on levels to where we don't have to go to a book to to gain knowledge in essence. Like, be honest with you, like, well, a book mostly be confirmation for your intuition, like telling you like this is what's going down, and then the book kind of just serves as like, all right, in the physical, I see that somebody actually wrote this too. So it wasn't just me being in my thoughts, but it's actually something that that resonates. But that's what I was gonna speak on, Memories of Heaven, with Dwayne Dyer. And again, because Dwayne Dyer, got the suspect crew, but that information from that book, definitely, I could feel the truths in it. But basically, it was called Memories from Heaven, and it was a bunch of different, different insights, or just little quotes and little excerpts from children speaking on like them knowing that they come from another realm, like little children telling their parents like, oh mom, I ain't pick you to be like this, I would have picked some other parents. Or or little children being like I want to go home. And then the parents being like, well, shit, we at home, we in the house. Like, no, I want to go home, stuff like that. Having them strong memories, again, memories that, in essence, detach them from this this physical plane. But at the same time, we are here for a reason, so of course, like again, like as much as the little children, like, man, I want to go home, or knowing what was up. Again, we are here on a human experience for a reason. Now is the vibrate. Right now is always about now. Just dealing with that logic right there. It's always about right now. And that's what liberates and brings us close to spirit. Like, no matter who or what you talking about, no matter what type of occult, esoteric person, that's one thing you see, again, like how information line up. So it would tell you like, all right, if Eckhart Tolle, Flight Boss, Young Pharaoh, Sonetta, Black Magic, Bobby Hemmett, even a Doreen Virtue, kind of somewhat brainwashing people, and this person and that person, all like, even though they all kind of different on their information, they all agree upon the fact that you don't want to be caught up in the past or the future. The now is where that So again, as a person, doing your research and trying to understand, it's like, all right, I see that all these different people, even from all different walks of life, in essence, all these different beings, agreeing on this same subject, and that's and I'm saying essence, but for the most part, agreeing on this one subject. So that's how you start to see, in essence, if something may be true or not. So again, with the understanding of now is the vibrate. Right now, let's look at that right now. Right now, am I on Andromeda? Right now, am I on Sirius? Right now, am I, uh, passing through the heart of the sun? Like right now, am I, you know, what am I right now? What am I doing? Like, what's my situation? And again, acceptance of the now mean accepting the things that you can't change, you know, and then and working on the things that you can, in essence. But again, right now, I look at my now, you know, I don't really know how to change this bodysuit, like right now, you know, the bodysuit I'm dealing with, you know. Now, of course, this to be technical, but that's you, and I'm not promoting that or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only way I know of, again, is like taking the bodysuit out, But I'm not promoting that or anything. But at the same time, because we are beings of a higher intelligence and consciousness, we knowing better, that we could speak on these type of things. Again, that's when you realize too, like, human moral stuff, just more so for for those beings that may not get it, in essence. And it's not to look at us as, because we're the beings that get it, I'm over all the, like, no, what I'm saying? Again, it ain't that type of vibe. It's just, again, just speaking on the reality of the situation. Again, I'm not gonna lie. That's another thing, like, not lying, or not, like, I'm not gonna tell a half-ass truth just to save somebody's ego, like, never. Again, that's the whole problem with what we dealing with right now with society, not keeping it 100% real, with what's going on. Again, that's why the New Age movement coming with that, oh, I don't see color and don't pay attention to the negativity. And again, like, being in denial, when you stick your head in a hole like an ostrich, in order to do that, your knees got to be on the ground and your ass got to be in the air. That's the position you put yourself in whenever you're in denial, which is a very vulnerable position. And then that's when those, as you got your head in the ground, the people who you've been trying to ignore, only done got their presence even much stronger, because they done trick you into, well, let me be in denial and go over here and put my head in the sand. And again, to those of you that would try to make your, like, to make a stance at, well, no, it is about, because again, I got lost in that sauce, somewhat promoting that vibe to a certain extent, because I do see the importance, though. I do see, and from my own experience, there is a level of being positive and having a positive outlook on a strong level that does keep a lot of things from, negativity from in your inner existence. But at the end of the day, realizing that, it's not just my immediate universe that I'm dealing with. I'm on this earthly plane, so it's more than just that. It's all just like trying to deal with just a certain part of my body, as above, so below. It's like, yeah, I could deal with just my conscious area, say, for instance, but eventually I'm gonna have to see what my heart does or my stomach does, or know what's going on in my foot and my knees, and not just being all up here in my head, what I'm saying, or all in one spot of the body. Again, in shadow work, the way shadow work is not ignoring things. So again, And that's how you could be able to spot these people on the new age vibe of the disinformation. Anybody that's trying to get you in denial or ignoring negativity, of course we're not trying to overly pay attention to it, but at the same time, like say for instance, a broke leg. A broke leg don't feel good, so that could be a situation that's seen as a negative experience. But with that broke leg, in order to fix it, now that it is there, that negativity is there. In order to fix it, I gotta acknowledge the pain. I gotta acknowledge that it's broke in order to fix it. Because if I sit there with my broke leg and be like, oh, I'm gonna just, and again, and a lot of people doing this without, like, I could see if you had the alchemy on the level where you was fucking making things appear with your mind right in the thing, that level, then of course it doesn't apply to you. But for the most part, most of again, you try, I'm gonna be positive. I'm not gonna pay attention to the throbbing pain in my knee and the fact that the pain feel like it's spreading and it feel like it's infecting more. Like I'm gonna just look over here. The next thing you know, come later, it's like, oh well, sorry, we gotta amputate your leg fully. Compared to if you would have paid attention to it right when it was there, and acknowledging it instead of ignoring it, you would have been able to fix it, Compared to, oh, let it turn, and then now you gotta amputate your whole leg. Now it turned into something so bad that, you know, again, when you wait too late, it's like that same vibe of, dealing with certain thoughts. I think about Abraham Hicks talking about the, stopping the car from going downhill. Like it's easier for you to stop that car from going downhill when you catch it before that momentum, start. But then once it go all the way down, like it's coming downhill, like don't get in the way of that car. Like you gotta let that motherfucker go and then start from, then after you done let it go, start from there, but somewhat forgot where I was. Just going with the vibes. But again, just back to memories and the memories that keep us here, memories that allow for us to leave. But again, the memories that in essence keep us here is the memories that we are attached to, and in most cases the memories that we are attached to that are dealing with being in this earthly plane, in this earthly realm of existence. If we attach to those memories of, I remember when this and that and again, ain't nothing wrong with loving our experience or being in love with your partner, like loving your partner, like ain't nothing wrong. Again, we go on experience, we here on a human experience, but it's not to get lost in the sauce. It's a balance. You gotta have awareness of knowing that you are a guide on a human experience, and as well as all the reflection and outer aspects, that's all reflections of what's going on inside of you, and having that full subconscious programming of, understanding that fully, again, and now since I'm catching a vibe that, we almost gotta teach, like I feel like right now from higher self is almost telling us, like, some of us who share information on this level, it's like a Maymester. If y'all familiar with college, like a Maymester is basically like a cramming semester, like where you learn a semester or even possibly 2 semesters worth of knowledge within 1 month. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be for those people trying to hurry up and graduate this and that and probably just need a few classes, but didn't want to wait to come back to school a whole another semester and all that. It's like catch that Maymester. But I feel like that's what we getting to on a level right now, where it's like that Maymester of like, you know, now we gotta really teach, like, like, all right, of course, like, say for instance, like taking your time with your growth, but like now it's time to realize, hey, bro, the importance is about subconscious programming for sure, almost first and foremost, in essence, because your subconscious program is what rules your physical existence, in essence. Like, the reason why we dealing with what we dealing with is because of how our subconscious is programmed. So, like, on the little May Mester vibe, like, again, uh, of course, go through the growth of, you know, dealing with your growth piece by piece. But now, again, just to put it out there, like, hey, even though this in one of the chapters further down the line, this is need to be known, right now. And if I would even necessarily say that, because in essence, that's one of, that's a very important aspect of making sure, you know, our souls don't get caught up in this matrix. So, subconscious, working on the subconscious is a very important, situation. That could be put, kind of like first in the quote unquote, not to say first, but like in the early stages of your spiritual growth, knowing about how your subconscious work is very key. Because, matter of fact, with most of us getting into the cult and esoteric knowledge, and we like, oh, it's magic and stuff like this. What's this about? I mean, that's the whole thing about magic, and all what we doing is about, subconscious programming. Like, everything to our experience is dealing with what our subconscious is programmed by, you know. That's why too, it's okay for us to, get knowledge from, you know, from different, lecturers, like get knowledge from YouTube, get knowledge from these books and stuff like that. But again, not letting this be the end all be all, and knowing that you also have an inner gnosis, and you also have a unique, like, you as a soul have some unique information to bring forth in this lifetime right now. Like, there's a bunch of us, like, you know, like, just like they had this vibe of, like, where, you had Thoth, right, the emerald tablets, and you got later with the Greek mythology, the Plato's, the Confuciuses, and all this. You know what I'm saying? Like, those scholars, in those times were seen like, oh, they knew they profound with this. But that's the same thing we doing. We are like that Plato and stuff like that right now. Like, we are the people bringing up this information that seems kind of new, because we haven't experienced it in this earthly plane, or came across the information in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's not nothing that's necessarily new. But again, we're here to, not, of course we're gonna read the old books of what Carl Jung talked about, and Francis Cress Welsing, and all the different teachers, but we also realizing too, again, God's on the human experience, and how much it been a chess game to keep us here. Like, realizing that all these different little avenues, that's why it's so much about us following our heart, and just kind of getting to a place of, again, as much as I, tap into the books, like, I just feel, that inner gnosis is very, very important, like being guided by your own intuition. Because again, all through my life, I watched it guide me through things without book knowledge. Like, it wasn't a book that told me. Like, when my mom told me to go to confession, to tell my sins to this preacher, I didn't read a book that said, well, hey, on a true spiritual level, you shouldn't go to church and say, because God is within. Like, I ain't read no book. Like, that was just me knowing, like, nah, like, something within me very strongly says that that's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the New Age movement of, like, well, as much as I, gave out my little apologies, because me, though, that's how I hold myself. I feel I'm responsible. Like, I'm putting out this information, regardless if I said, hey, I'm on my growth just like y'all, and things of this nature. I understand that at the end of the day, some people still gonna look at me as a teacher and learning from me on that type of level. So, I had to make sure, like, hey, y'all, I've been duped by this information to a certain extent, you know, because I remember like the little few days and or certain little videos where I was just, you know, either trying to keep it too positive. And again, always realizing, though, when I look back at it, I never was fully duped by the New Age movement, but just enough to where I may have, you know, tarnished some truth, just like the New Age movement is doing itself. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I had to, like, you know, like, hey, you know, again, accountability. You know, and that's just me. You know, because some people like, oh man, you don't really have to buy. And which I mean, again, yeah, you know, it's a part of my growth. You know, like on some other stuff, be real with you, like my high self threw me to the wolves to kind of teach me that lesson. You know, it's kind of like, you know, almost like initiation. Like you think about these tribes and they might send the little boys in the woods to fend for themselves. That's kind of like, again, you start to see like as above, or not say as above, so below, but like the parallels of that, but just in a modern day situation, you know, where, you know, like my higher self was like, all right, you need to see this New Age movement. You need to see what the woods and all this, like the wilderness is really, go out there. And two, it was also a lesson to teach me to stop being too nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, as I'm going through it, I'm getting the downloads and understanding, like, all right, or understanding that, all right, I'm going through this because I'm, you know, to show me that I'm being too nice in certain areas, you know, and too gullible with that. Because in essence, that niceness meaning, like, you know, as a matter of fact, I think the word nice is derived from like the word gullible or dumb or something like that. But anyway, you know, getting caught up in that, you know, and having to learn that lesson, but also again having, you know, like that initiation being thrown into the mix. You know, you see as this video gets to an hour long. Again, but memories. We don't want to have these, and again, that's why it's also, again, about us doing our chakra work, because there's certain like memories in essence attached in different chakras, you know, like you know, in the root chakra for sure, you know, they got all our beginning, you know, that early life experience, you know, all in that root chakra, you know. And if I'm not, you know, working through that, and again, that's where you start to see the contrast that you go through is a blessing, you know, because it's like if I wasn't, you know, pushed back to Louisiana and be and handling this right now, then I would still be walking around blinded, thinking I'm doing something when I still haven't worked out some root chakra energy that I need to work on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful to be back here in Louisiana and be back at my mama house, working out my little family and mommy problems. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a blessing to again for the high self to be so strongly of influence, you know, in my life, where, you know, no matter how much my ego would try to deter me, like my higher self just always kind of like, come here. You know what I'm saying? Get me on track. That's why, again, how I made that video about shaman sickness and about like how, you know, for me in certain areas where if I just go off, you know, if I venture off from, you know, a certain level of my soul discipline, you know, that I should be dealing with, if I venture off, you know, just the slightest bit, you know, my higher self gonna like smack me up and put me in a situation that's gonna really show me that, bro, nah, this behavior we're not dealing with. Like, you should be done with this behavior. You're not. So we're gonna make it again. Like the difference where if the 15th player, and again, not to say nobody is more important than other, but again, on skill set level, and you know, the 15th player on the team on the bench, if he misses a shot, this and that, like coach ain't really too tripping, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, that person is the 15th player on the team, you know, for a reason. You know, everybody, again, I know discrimination or like everybody's skills get shown, and then from what your skill set is seen as, and you know, you get your I say in the sports world, you know, you get that job according to your skill level. But say for instance, you know, Michael Jordan or somebody who, you know, Allen Iverson was like, you know, they miss that shot or they mess up. It's like, man, what the fuck you doing? Like, well, you should know better. Like, matter of fact, come sit down right here on side. You know what I'm saying? Like, like the coach really puts that lesson harder on the people who should know better, you know what I'm saying? And you start to see too, just like with parents, like treating everybody different but equally in essence, like everybody has a different type of energy, so you're gonna kind of deal with them differently, you know. But when I say that again, dealing with them differently, but again, realizing the connection, we're all one, equal, but we still deal with each other. Like I could tell one person this story in this type of manner, but have to tell this person this story in a different type of manner. I could share it, like it's all different ways to interact, but still, having this like kind of foundation of treating everybody equally, but again, but according to where they at, in essence. But I think that covers it covers everything. I feel like at this now, like matter of fact, I done got to the point now where I feel like if I try to say anything else, I'd just be saying stuff to just be hearing myself talk. So I think I got pretty much everything in there. Again, the importance of the subconscious work, remembering that we are source on the human experience, and also dealing with the vibe of being as above so below. It's like we're inside another body, like starting to tap more into like the as above so below aspects to really see what's going on. Like with the hermetic principles, that's like a certain blueprint that's set in place, you know what I'm saying? And that could allow for you to, understand, like, what's going on, like, because other than the downloads, well, other than kind of coming across, I remember in the Kabbalah, where the Kabbalah spoke of, like, being in the body of God, but besides that, like, I had, trips where I realized, like, we are in the body of God, and I, did videos about, like, imagine you being in the toe of God, and like how us trying to connect with the full source, it's like a cell in the toe trying to get your attention, you know what I'm saying? So think about that, like, do you constantly pay attention to each and every cell, you know what I'm saying? Again, like, it's an as above so below aspect, even down to like reason why we are quote unquote in essence awakening, because there's a certain conscious awareness that's being put on us right now. Whether so say for instance, we just for example, like we living in the root chakra of another being, let's just say theoretically, not so much theoretically, but just saying, we in the root chakra of another being. So as above so below, just like when we doing chakra work, the root chakra is kind of being neglected as long as we're working on other areas. But then once we get to that area, the root chakra, then that root chakra can feel like, oh, all right, awareness on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was showtime. You know what I'm saying? Again, like, so as above, so below, like our awareness on this physical plane, like again, you see that Malkut and the root chakra, that physical existence, also being tied to Lucifer, like when this being's body, and a certain level of conscious awareness being focused on this area of the body right now, Again, like my little allegorical story of like a backyardia where every 7 years somebody opened the gate, you know what I'm saying? Like that, that being an analogy, for something, bigger or smaller in the macrocosm or microcosm, So like say for instance, say for instance those Kali Yugas we go through, those every 24,000 years, that could be every time the certain being we in scratches nuts. I mean, just to give you example, you know what I'm saying? Like, like every so and I just did that to be facetious, but like and so say for instance, it seems to us it's 27,000 years, but it's only 7 hours to, to the equivalent to 7 hours in the perspective of the being we're in. So every 7 hours, is meditating or going to do something. But for us, that's like every such and such million years. Same thing, within our body, like what seems like a long time, from the perspective of the whole body consciousness, may seem like a short amount of time or a long amount of time to one cell in the body. You know what I'm saying? Just like the analogy of like the reason why flies are able to kind of like duck us so good too when we swinging at them is because like, when we swing, it's like we and we don't see it as that because it's from our perspective. But from the fly smaller perspective, it's like, bro, I see that swing coming 1,000 miles away. But two, you see this analogy projected like, say for instance, a movie where a human would be dealing with a giant, and that giant is like, come here, but it's like slow moving. You know what I'm saying? It's like that same analogy. And like even thinking to like what the universe, like the galaxy moving and stuff like that. The galaxy moving could be source like smiling, like, hey, being happy, but just like a universal level. On the universe, I shout out to my brother, just handed me the good. But yeah, the as above, so below level. So like when we looking at like the galaxy is moving like this, that could actually be on a bigger scale, like the being smiling, like and again it moves on the soul, like it takes 24,000 years to happen, for this to happen, like for the universe to smile, like, but that's from the perspective of something small in that universe compared to something, like again to that being that actually smile, like just 1 second. It just took 1 second for me to. It didn't take long. But the little beings inside my lip, like oh wait, this is so long. You know what I'm saying? Like this feel like it's taking so long. You know what I'm saying? Like every so many years, there's movement. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different perspective. Because I thought about that, like like again, like us also moving up the kundalini of the body that we're in as well. And like what some of us gonna move with that kundalini energy, some of us gonna stay in that root chakra, that being, aka this earthly plane, this Malkut or root chakra realm, in essence. Oh, you could rise up out of this thing, and again, and realizing too, well, may not necessarily be leaving the body of this being fully either, but just probably going to a higher aspect within this body, which again, it could be something external from the body again, because we'll get to that level of realizing like, hey, all right, I could choose my experience, what level I want to, I want to go to a whole different dimension or this and that, what I'm saying, like tapping into realms that may be outside of the body of the being that we're in right now, Yeah, shout out to the little water. Matter of fact, y'all want to be careful with elixirs too, certain crystals, certain crystals you don't want to put in elixirs, may be toxic. Think about malachite, the first one that comes to mind. But then again, I've spoke on that a little bit in a video where I'm like, but no telling, shit, malachite might be something where the book saying it's poison, this and that. Shit, malachite might be like spice from the actual movie Doom, like, you know what I'm saying? If y'all unfamiliar with that movie, definitely you should check it out. The movie Doom. Because the movie Doom, if you're unfamiliar, kind of parallels the Enki and Lil, quote unquote Anunnaki story, which again is a personification of energies, movements, Because again, even that's why with sacred geometry, it's about like on that level, you know, that dot, that consciousness by itself, then that consciousness becomes aware of itself. So, you know, that becoming aware, you know, in matter of fact, 360 degrees of knowledge, you know, that's why it's 360 degrees of knowledge. Like, say for instance, that little spot, say for instance, like the flower of life wouldn't be the flower of life if that dot of consciousness only had 1 degree of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Without the full 360, you know, it wouldn't have that circle around it. So that little dot of consciousness, you know, if it only had 1 degree of knowledge, we wouldn't have the flower of life, because the flower of life is a bunch of circles. So that's a bunch of consciousness having 360 degrees of knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And not just one aspect of the knowledge, you know. As a matter of fact, and just to briefly, you know, which I speak on so many times, that's the whole other thing with, you know, the school system. Because again, the school system, all this is, you know, basically we in a situation like like still listening to the Nazis, like how Jewish people knew how to get the fuck from Germany and not deal with the Germans and all, which indirectly they still are dealing with them, but you know, the illusion of getting directly from out of their hands, you know, and getting to a place where, you know, like, fuck, we ain't gonna learn from the people who just was burning our ass, you know, and trying to kill us. But yet, as beings in America, and especially melanated beings in America, where it's like, you know, you expect to learn, like, do you really expect to be the greatest you on a soul, like on a mind, body, and soul level, learning something from somebody who's continuously proven that they're not trying to see you prosper in this world? Like, do you really feel like, you know, again, like with that 1 degree, like they giving you, again, here it is where you go through most of your school system without even knowing what a chakra is. And your root chakra work is one of the most important things to your being. You know, you go through school now learning about subconscious work, you know, and this is very important. So you start to realize, well, damn, maybe this system is not about truly, you know, helping me, because if anything is truly helping it, then it would help me to realize, well, you know, the God aspect of myself, you know, this and that. You know, you realize that they just trying to keep you from soulfully ascending and realizing who you are and make a worker out of you. You know, may turn you into somebody that helps keep others in this motherfucker as well, you know. Like, and it's getting to that time too, like where it's gonna be a shakedown on government jobs. Like, people who working for the government gonna have like these little dilemmas, you know, like, like again, you know, realizing, you know, do you have a heart and will you recognize it, or is it all about just the money and I'm scared to go without the system, you know? You know, you're relying on the beast, then you're gonna go down with it. I'll stay here with it, however you want. You know, however you want to say it or see it. You know. Again, that dot of consciousness, that little 360 degrees of awareness. You know? But I think that's it. Oh, that's what I was talking about, because I was also, matter of fact, because Archangel Uriel spoke about that in a video I caught last night, speaking about, you know, again, the energy realizing itself within itself, you know, and again, where we get our cardinal directions from is the energy moving. Again, the same story with Jubilee, and the Temple of Solomon. Like, that's that same story in essence, you know. It's like, you know, the consciousness moving to the south gate of itself, and then to the north. And I'm not saying it in the exact directions in a chronological order. Just, you know, for example, you know, becoming aware of the higher aspect of itself, and then all of a sudden becoming aware of the lower aspect of itself, becoming aware of the feminine aspect of itself, becoming aware of the masculine aspect of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then from those 4 directions, you know, spreading awareness from there, you know, that's why we call that in essence the foundation, you know, or the cardinal directions, you know, was those first spots of awareness that this being that we are in to be becoming aware of, you know. So that, you know, that's that whole situation. We talk about the cardinal signs and calling that the foundation, you know. And again, the story, because again, Solomon's temple is not about an actual person named King Solomon as much as, you know, the roster brethren My dad wanna hear that. When I say King Solomon lives. Just joked out, y'all. Just joked out. It's all up. But this is allegory, and Solomon's temple is again, a personification of a body, and also again, as above, so below. We just replaying the story of the being that we're in, becoming consciously aware of its inwards, we are doing the same, again, as above, so below. And also, while doing that, realizing that, hey, this world is not my home. This world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door. And I don't see me home in this world no more. But we just passing through, learning our lessons. Some of us might want to stay longer than others. Don't pay attention again. It's like also like being in class, gotta pay attention to your own work, you know what I'm saying? Because too much trying to peep on the other person's test, like, and you might not even have the same type of scan try, like y'all tests, might be different, like as far as the way that the answers or the questions numbered, the question that's number 1 on that person's test might be number 5 on your test, you know what I'm saying? So again, it's kind of like, again, of course, like before the test, stuff like that, we connect, we do our studying, and we might get a study group come together on that vibe. But then when it's time to be tested, we all uniquely different in the way we apply, information and receive it. So of course, as a soul group, or again, or as classmates, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna, iron sharpen iron. We're gonna learn from each other. But then when as we're being tested within our own test that we give to ourselves, because we are our own teacher in essence, it's not about at that point, and it's not about trying to see what's on so and so paper. It's about paying attention to what's, because I fuck around and back, all right, what they got for number 5, this and that. Then I be like waiting for my test. Matter of fact, cause that's how some of us in this new age, going with the vibe of the new age movement, whether we got fully duped or partially duped, but anyway, we sitting there like rubbing our hands like, oh, I've been doing good, I know I'm bad, you know what I'm saying? We was looking at somebody else's paper, and we get our test back, and it's like F, like, wait, man, you know what I'm saying? Cause here it is too. What a contradiction of the energy too. What I forgot to mention. Here it is where you got together and studied with people, but you lack confidence in yourself and your own abilities, to pass your test, and that's also speaking for myself too. I watch myself do this, again, where I get the intuitive insight and ignore it, just not trusting it, and not, again, like, even though we got together, studied, and I know, and then also did my own inner gnosis and, all that, still kind of like, and then bam, and it's like, oh shit. But then, in my case though, it's like, I know why I got that fucking bag ready. Should have trusted my own self, you know what I'm saying? On that level. But that's basically it, As a matter of fact, a lot of my videos gonna kind of get back to, because even though again, this is about, the different types of memories, the memories that allow for us to, realize we are guides on a human experience, those memories. Matter of fact, another good one while I'm thinking about it, I mentioned in other videos, one of my brothers told me about a story where he remember, coming down here to this physical plane with his family, And that's another thing too. Before we come down here, we be like running it with each other, like, all right, this how we gonna play it this rip, this and that. But then as we come down, we go through the energy. Matter of fact, I feel like it's part of like the interdimensional space travel of it. Like when we make that quantum leap, some of that discussion don't make it through to that physical realm, and then again, with us coming to this physical realm, the beings on this physical realm know that souls are coming down to help, raise light in this motherfucker. So that's why they got everything set up to fucking throw off our soulful memories. It's like, as soon as you come out, we gonna wipe some shit, some antibiotics into your eye, take you away from your mama, slap you on your ass, hit you with some vaccines. You're in a hospital with all kind of mental conditions. We're gonna do a C-section and instead of letting you come naturally through your mom's birth canal, we're gonna dope your mom up so she's not able to be there for you in your first days of coming out. That vibe. Because that's the reason why I've been coming across this information to realize that's what my little mommy issues are from. It's from the hospital, basically. Because I remember my mom saying she went through a C-section, so that would mean she wasn't, as soon as I came out, she wasn't like, there ready for me. She was all split up and probably sleeping. You know what I'm saying? So here it is. I'm being handled by some strangers, at the beginning, the first beginning important stages of my fucking life, in my soul. I'm being handled by some people that, in essence, whether through ignorance or purposely, administering harmful things to me and not necessarily really giving a fuck about me. Of course, they might not, because some people do become doctors thinking they really are going to make a change and really help and are really wanting to connect with people. But, for the most part, again, it's like, somebody, another stranger's baby, and of course, because I'm a human, moralistically, I'm not going to be mean in this moment, but I don't necessarily have a I care, because this is not my child, you know what I'm saying? So again, we was missing that high level of love, again, coming from again, that situation. As soon as we get down here, now back to the story. Again, we orchestrating with each other before we come down here, and my brethren talked about how he remembered it was him, his brother, his mom, and his dad, and it was a situation where like one of them jumped down first, and he's like, from that realm of existence, again, back to what I was saying earlier about what seems like 7 years on one round might seem like 27,000, or might seem like 7 hours on another round. You know what I'm saying? But matter of fact, dealing with the Tesseract and Interstellar kind of somewhat dealt with that. But the brethren was like, first like the soul that that ended up being my daddy. He kind of went down first, and then it was like almost like minutes. Like he went down first, and then the soul that became his mom went right down after, and then the soul that was his brother stopped and kind of like said something to him right quick, you know what I'm saying? And then, he went down, and then, then his brother went down, and then he went down, and then, when you look at it, and he was explaining too the correlation of like, his dad is older than his mom, and then, he got his older brother, so basically, his dad, again, with what seems like minutes, so when his dad went down, and in those little minutes, the little small moment between, his dad going down and the soul of his mom, waiting to go down, that was like, could have been like 7 years on Earth, you know what I'm saying? So like, even though they just like, he just went down, 7 years and passed already on Earth, kind of again like Interstellar, where like when they was in that realm, 1 year in that realm was like 7 years passing on Earth. So, within 4 years on that plane they was in, that would be like 4 times 7, I forgot, 20 something years, you know what I'm saying? On the earthly plane, because matter of fact, in the movie Interstellar, if you haven't watched it, and I need to watch it again, but the brethren, came back, and his daughter ended up in essence being older than him, So they played into that energy. But again, that small space in between, in the story I'm talking about now, again, the brethren's father went down, and then a small minute, it was like so many years, and then with his brother stopping to talk, that was that time lapse, like, because again, that's a little longer than 7 years, in between the parents. You had to give the parents, in essence, time to meet each other again, and because again, the years pass and stuff, they gotta meet each other again, do that vibe, and bam, then the brother come first, so while he was talking like this, that was giving time for the parents to on their human experience indirectly remember each other, come reunite in essence, and bring life into that realm, which was his older brother, and then bam, and after that he came down. But again, you see these different the levels again of our experience, just so many multiple layers, it's not just no one thing, like matter of fact, that's kind of like on a macrocosm level, like the universe of or should I say the microcosm level, the universe of tarot cards, well, one tarot card could say so many different things, let alone the whole deck, we just talking about one set of cards in this physical matrix, let alone how many different things in general that you got in this physical, you know what I'm saying? So it's just so many different levels, And again, that's why everything is, so important about, creating a strong connection with higher self and the inner source, and creating a strong connection with intuition. In meditation, again, it should be for clearing your mind, but again, we don't want to be on the extremes with anything. To each his own, though, on your experience, because I'm saying things, again, vibe with what you vibe with, but meditation is used to clear the mind, to clear the egoic mind noise, so that you could be able to receive, higher self and information, have that stronger clarity with your intuition and insight from higher self. But then as you start to build that strong connection, then you could kind of, you don't have to be dogmatic about meditation. It can only be whenever you're feeling like like the connection is kind of, becoming weak. Then it's like, all right, meditate. Because again, with this new age movement and how they try to confuse everybody, it's like having you on one side of the spectrum. Because if we meditate, too much, then it'll get to a place of, being overly right brain, overly feminine, what I'm saying, and being in balance, As a matter of fact, my brethren, made a good analogy. Shout out to my brother Brad. He made a good analogy, like if I started walking with one side of my body, so I only had my left foot moving. Left foot moving. Just my left foot, I'm gonna be going in circles. So just that left side. Or if I do just my right side, I'll be going in circles. But then when I move both left and right, I can move around. I could really walk and and do things, when my right and left side is in balance, compared to just trying to overly use one side. Again, it is proven with sunlight, the balance. Too much could kill, not enough could kill. The right amount is beautiful. Same thing with water, same thing with the pH level in our bodies. There's a such thing as getting sick from having too much alkalinity. And again, that partial information where these people like, oh yeah, alkaline this, alkaline that, having a high pH level. But you could get to a place where, again, because now we're feeding too much into soul and spirit and neglecting the body. So we're creating an imbalance, and that's why a lot of us have this energy of feeling like we detach, like I don't feel at home in this world, this and that, because again, need to ground a little more, accepting what is. You are here on a human experience, just because you're accepting your body, you know, this bodysuit, again, as long as you keep the awareness that you are God on the human experience, you know, and constantly work on that, nothing is wrong with you acknowledging your body. Because matter of fact, you know, we will want to take care and acknowledge our body to be able to do what we got to do on this physical plane. You know, like if I go to Mars in a bodysuit, you know, and that bodysuit made out of Martian dust and stuff like that, because you know it's compatible to those elements in that realm. You know, I go there to do work. I'm not going to neglect my bodysuit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go there to do work and then back out. Well, fuck my bodysuit, though. You know, and why did I even go there in the first place? And how could I even get anything done if my bodysuit not in tip-top shape? You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the analogy I use with the astronaut suits, like with the quote unquote, like with having high levels of melanin or not. Like high levels of melanin, again, just look at it like a bodysuit technology. You know, like in this in our solar system, our universe, everything is connected with, you know, the carbon slash melanin in essence. And when I say in essence, you know, because they basically like the same, but you know, within this physical realm of reality, you know, the body suits, you know, again, like buying, like when you go to the store and buy a body, you know, buy a body suit. You go and you buy something, you know, you got you know, some things got more features than other things. You know, the new Cadillac with more features, not necessarily better than the old Cadillacs, or the Cadillac with less features. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, different features within the vehicles. You know, and two, like seeing like what the reason why, you know, they got the vibe of how the melanated bodysuits is connected. Two things on such a level. You know, it's also that vibe of like the old souls getting the pick of the litter with the, you know, with the bodysuits, and you see that as above, so below vibe of like, you know, like kind of like let the elders, you know, that old soul, you know, go first. But I also too, you know, I when I think about that, you never know. I think of, well, no, it would be the old souls. I about to say like, you know, the younger souls, but I'm like, nah, because younger souls, you know, the reason why, you know, there's a certain level of information that's not being realized on this panel, hadn't been realized for the past few years, is because, you know, the souls, for the most part, you know, there's a lot of younger souls, you know, so they don't really know, you know, are souls that if they are elder souls, they're more so just familiar to this earthly plane, you know. But again, like the bodysuits is like, you know, just elder souls picking out certain bodysuits, you know. Like one soul, you know, again, could pick any type of bodysuit. Like, let me pick a bodysuit with less melanin, you know, because in order to really help the situation, since the realm of reality on the earthly plane is mostly being run by the bodysuit consciousness of these, you know, the European bodysuit consciousness, then let me come down there in that bodysuit to be somebody that help the city. You know, since people mostly acknowledge words that come from out of the European mouth, let's say, for instance, you know, again, that bodysuit, then I'm gonna come down in that bodysuit, you know what I'm saying, to do that. Now, because you're an ancient soul, you know, it may be overwhelming that bodysuit, you know, in essence, but you know, able to come down in it nonetheless and do the work, you know. I think about Nikola Tesla, you know, that's for sure, you know, a great example of, you know, and again, but there also is the fact of neuromelanin. So again, a lot of these people, what we call white, it's not necessarily purely, quote unquote, having a white bodysuit anyway, you know. But again, it's a bodysuit that we hopping into. You know, this is not the end all be all. You know, that's why, you know, some people, you know, have like hate groups and this and that, because they see this body as the end all be all. So they protecting, you know, their identity, because that's all they identify with is their bodysuit. You know, because if everybody identified with their soulful selves, then nobody would be trying to protect some egoic, you know, form of existence in essence. You know, say it like that. You know, it's like only when you have a certain egotistical attachment to an idea or something like that, then you feel threatened. You know, that's the only time you're gonna feel the vibe of being threatened is if somebody, say for instance, you're attached to sidereal astrology. Somebody talk about Western. You know, if you're not in that vibe of being open to all aspects of it, this and that, you're gonna feel threatened. Like, why are you threatening my sidereal? Or vice versa. Like, why are you threatening my Western astrology? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you gotta just acknowledge the, you know, get from out of your egoic mind and just go with the flow of acknowledging whatever resonates, and, you know, being open to any and all information, but again, allowing for it to resonate with you. But, that's basically it. You know, that's all the different levels to it. Yeah, that's basically it. In fact, almost 2 hours, y'all. I had to get that full, you know. Matter of fact, especially because I realized too, because I smoke my herbs still in the you know, in the cigars. You know, that energy, you know, the chemical vibes from the cigars try to, like, you know, I spoke of that in some of my videos, to try to bring me to this you know, old egoic vibe of when I used to smoke type of energy. And it depends too on how balanced I am and comfortable in my being in the moment. But forgot what I was gonna say. It's probably dealing with doing this long video, and partially due to, you know, like, you know, waking up. I don't like necessarily do a wake and bakes. You know, just like, let me share things with the freshness. But again, not to say that when I smoke, that's another thing too. This place is a, you know, this is a matrix, it's an illusion. But again, it's a balance. It's, oh, well, it's just illusion. So nah, you know, again, we are here on this physical, you know, plane, just like on the Truman Show, where it was illusion that his parents was his parents, this and that. But that didn't mean, you know, when he got his first bike, he wasn't happy, or when, you know, certain things happened, he didn't, you know, they didn't feel real, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, with my smoking herb vibes, you know, I just like to, whenever I just know I'm gonna be paralleling and kind of jumping through a bunch of different information. Now again, when I'm locked in on a certain subject or something like that, and it's like, yeah, I could smoke while doing the video, because it's a whole different you have a whole different vibe. Because in any case, you know, most of me dealing with herb or just the smoking aspect being harmful would be just a, you know, the quote unquote battle within myself, you know, or should I say the dance within myself. I'm not trying to battle, but we trying to make sure we dancing it, you know. And like, you know, with two people who got different styles of dance, you know, it might be stepping on each other's foot, like, ah, he stepped on my foot, like, damn, you need to do that. But, you know, but you gotta continue to practice the dance, you know, till we get it, you know, dancing with stars. Dancing with the stars within ourselves. You know, letting the energies within. Because again, it's about, that's why too, visualizations, exercises of, like, you know, just visualizing, you know, on a simple level of like your masculine energy being a, you know, a man, and your feminine energy being a woman, and seeing them in your brain walk up to each other and hug, and, you know, and be in agreement. Like, see yourself as two people married, like, in essence. Like, when you dealing with, you know, with things, and not saying to separate yourself as the two, but in the analogy of, you know, we do have the, you know, the yin and yang energies that exist within, and if thrown off balance, it could be like a battle. Well, you know, see yourself as like a counselor counseling a marriage that's within you, you know, and not just a counselor, but being those two people married to each other, and and like agreeing, like like how sometimes the man might have this look, but he, if he want to be cordial with his wife, he got to, well, even though I may view this in this way, let me run this with my wife, or let me see how she feel about it, and then the woman on the other side too, like, well, this and that, well, let me see how my husband, compared to like, oh, I'm gonna just do this and fuck what she think, or this and that, like, that's just me, then it's like, oh shit, and then you creating, like, again, this battle, that plays out, inside of you, and then plays out externally, with certain situations open you to being more split in your personality, because you're splitting it on the inside. So the situation that presents itself outside of your body, that's gonna present that same split in essence. But that's basically it. Consciousness moving in its own body. Remember, let that heart weigh heavier than a feather. This is experience, and now is the time for us to, to not babyfy. Like, I'm getting back to that place of, again, it shouldn't even be called cutthroat, but like, that cutthroatness of, like, when I talk to people, I'm talking from a perspective of, of what it is. I do my best to meet them where they're at to a certain level, but not to the point of just bringing myself, like, nah, now is the time to acknowledge what's really going on in this place, and if that mean that I gotta, again, go back to that vibe of being, which, again, I know it won't be like that, because I don't want to manifest that either, as far as, like, being more by myself, because, again, it got certain, like, some of us, again, are so unique and so somewhat, I'm gonna say ahead of the time, but lack of a better word, that we are just gonna have that type of relationship with this physical realm where we're just a little too far out there. And I had to catch myself realizing, like, I was, in essence, for lack of a better word, right, or very accurate with my very accurate with my being out there vibes, you know what I'm saying? Because realizing, and I say out there, I should say being in there, but you know what I'm saying? But like being out there, like you're out there. But with that vibe, like seeing, like, well, damn, I always was on point with that vibe of just, having my own inner gnosis, and like, like, well, I got, like, these different videos of, like, hey, this meditation came to me, I didn't get it from a book. Hey, this little ritual came to me, I didn't get this from a book. You know what I'm saying? Like, just my own little, inner gnosis, again, not following other gods or energies, in essence, because again, that's how you give away your power, by giving it to something else. And that something else could be anything. It could be another spiritual being. It could be a habit, like a cigarette. I mean, not like a cigarette, but like, smoking habits or whatever. But it's like hold on, let me not go out of that thought. Oh, it kind of left me. It's gonna come right back though. Speaking on habits and us quitting, dang, it'll come back to me. But yeah, that's basically it. Just I'm not gonna force it. Even though, dang, I was in a there was a nice little analogy creeping somewhere underneath what I was speaking on. That's why it's like, like, damn, Source, are we really on the same team? why are you throwing this out of my memory? But nothing is coincidence either. So again, if I don't come back to it, it was meant. But again, just realizing, the uniqueness of our experience. You know, guides on the human experience. Source on the human experience, learning about itself. Oh, that's what I knew I was gonna get back to, because that was important. Again, not giving our energies to outside entities. You know what I'm saying? Like following, like when we just following somebody else's philosophy blindly, then we not even being ourselves. Again, that's where a lot of us get lost in the sauce of like, of course you want to get knowledge from these books. Of course you want to get, and I'm thinking now you want to get, learn from these books and learn from certain people, but again, not being locked down into the place of that's the only place or avenue of your information, and you only following the every words of that certain book or that certain person, then you're not being your own being and your own guide, like again, you dwindling your energy, where you won't even have enough of energy to rise up out of here because you've been giving your energy to, indirectly, not realizing it, worshiping things in this physical plane. Again, like with the habit stuff like that, like smoking. I know that's just like that's one of my props in this physical plane. Like matter of fact, I done had a DMT trip melt a blunt, like so many words, like the fucking visualizations of the Matrix was just like, it was like dissolving, and like it was showing me like motherfucking two was talking to me in that cursing straight up like, motherfucker, that weed ain't shit, motherfucker, you the weed, motherfucker, you got THC in you, and stop depending on this bullshit. If you're gonna smoke it because you like it, yeah, that's cool. But don't be attached to this bullshit and feel like you gotta smoke it to feel some kind of way or do this or that. It's like, just let you smoke because you like to fucking smoke, you know what I'm saying? That's your little prop in the little Matrix, the role we playing and stuff like that. That's my little, my little prop. But again, we making sure we not giving our energies. Again, that's why, you got to be careful with a lot of these group situations. If somebody always wants you to be a part of a group, when you're not even really doing your own inner soul work, And again, I understand that in some unique cases, some people, that they work may be in those certain areas, But because matter of fact, dealing with some type of karmic energy that they have to deal with, you know what I'm saying? But again, on the knowledge of knowing, for those of us who, want to make sure we get the fuck out of this physical realm, we don't want to be giving our energy out externally to any objects, any people, places, or things, spirit, like again, even dealing with, your altars and stuff like that, making sure we realize that these energies are internal. Like I'm just in the personification of working with energies that's inside of me, and not, actually giving my energy to a Ogun or Oshun, or you know what I'm saying. Like it's knowing that those energies are just different archetypes in essence that exist within us, because we are a source on the human experience, just like as above so below, just like the macrocosm exists within us, where we got like the zodiac signs within our body, in different place, and then too, our body even breaks down into fractals where you got the zodiac sign within the full body, and then it also breaks down into the certain areas of the body where you also have it, certain little breakdown within your hand and within your feet. Within your ear, you got like a macrocosm of energy. Like when people do the pressure point work and acupuncture, or like massages and stuff like that. Like say for instance the fingertips. You know, this deal with the pineal and the crown chakra. You know, you get more somewhere in this area. This deal with the stomach area. I did a video a while back, kind of speaking to that a little bit. You know, tapping into that energy. You know, of seeing, you know, how the you know, that macrocosm is in the microcosm, and you know, and in multi and in so many multiple layers in essence, you know. But again, because you got the zodiac signs within the full body, but then I got them on the face, you know. I think about you know, Mercury deals with the mouth, you know, all these different energies. And energy signatures, not necessarily, you know, quote unquote guides in the sense of it, you know, in the English, or should I say German terminology? I think that's where it comes from. That's basically it. Plane pass over very closely. I'll let second I thought about that. Apologies, I had to go. But that's basically it. Memories that help us to leave this place, and memories that are being attached to this place and would actually lock your soul, you know, down into this matrix. So, you know, remember, you know, we want to be lighthearted towards our experience here. Of course, we expressing love and loving our experience, and in the moment, you know, like I love my mom, I love my little nephews, this and that, but I also realize, like, you know, my nephews are some souls on the human experience as well. So, you know, I'm not attached to their bodysuit because we exist beyond our bodysuits, you know. So I'm not just attached, you know, again, there's a difference from me loving them and connecting with them in a detached mode of knowing, like, hey, I'm a energy, I'm a consciousness, I'm source on the human experience, compared to me interacting and dealing with them where, like, oh, we just humans, like, and I know, like, well, yeah, you got, matter of fact, again, that's why they try to trick everybody. You know, you got God in the sky. You know, I got my sky daddy, but I'm just a human, and that's my cousins, and that's my mama, and that's the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's gonna be for you. You know what I'm saying? No point blank period. But again, and for myself too, realizing the importance of staying away from vibrations. Like, again, my niceness, you know, learning niceness lessons. You know, I got bit, but the reason why, you know, I went through what I went through and got, like, you know, getting tossed to the wolves was because of, you know, higher self in the universe was showing me, like, all right, we gotta break you. You know, you're still a little too nice, you know, on a level that's unhealthy to your soul. You know what I'm saying? We gotta throw you in the gauntlet to. Cause matter of fact, that's how I am too, though. Cause, like, after a situation, like, and somebody really kind of, like, you know, like, it's obvious that they crossed me, you know, then that sternness is established. Like, all right, for sure, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Like, like that discernment, like, you know, to, again, to not be overly nice about the situation. But again, that's why too I dipped into this place of you know, again, kind of going, I don't like to use the word backwards because I feel like we're just constantly in our growth. But, you know, that's why my growth kind of took a little, you know, a little, whoa, you know, type of little vibe, because I was allowing for myself to be you know, allowing my niceness was putting me in situations where people were just planting these little, you know, kind of plant these little entities on me, and little demons, you know, because even when people are not conscious of it, you know, they doing it, and by me, you know, being overly nice, you know, that, again, that friendliness, that opening up that sacral chakra, you know, that's what they key in on, is throwing your emotions. Once your emotions off balance, and that's how they, you know, able to tap into it, you know, and, you know, just allowing for my niceness to, you know, pull me away from my growth a little bit, but not enough to, you know, take me fully off of my growth, you know, which I'm grateful for, you know, for having that strong connection with Source, to not be, you know, allowed to, you know, be fully thrown off my pad, you know, just being thrown to the wolf strongly enough just for me to get that lesson, to realize, all right, I see what it is, I know what it is, you know what I'm saying? Because also, I do have, like, this hard-headedness about me, which it, you know, kind of, you know, in essence works to the advantage when you're learning, was about, like, you know, not just seeing it to believe it, but, you know, it's like, you know, I would like to see it exist, you know, like that, because that's why my approach too, like, indirectly, you know, I was kind of hedging my bets, like, let me, you know, let me use the nice vibe, you know, like, let me go, because I, you know, I resonate, you know, I was a person that liked to harm people anyway, so let me just go with this vibe and see where it takes me, you know what I'm saying? I saw where it took me, I'm like, all right, you know, can't be that nice, you know what I'm saying? Because it put me into a situation where, you know, people's trying to pull me down, so it's like, all right, having that discernment and knowing for sure now. But yet, if I wouldn't experienced it in depth on that level, I probably would still be, you know, how can I say, dancing with the devil, to the extent of, you know, still kind of flirting with being overly nicely, you know. But because I how self showed me, like, put me in a situation that strongly showed me how my niceness makes me so vulnerable. Like, now I know for sure to stop playing around like that, you know, compared to where if I never had a situation to really show me to stop playing around like that, I would still be playing around like that, you know. Again, that's why, you know, grateful and gotta love Source, high self, for sending these lessons so strongly, because as much, you know, the dark night of the soul, where we might be like, oh man, this feel like we, that's the pressure that's making the diamond, you know what I'm saying? But for sure, nah, this is it. Yeah, this is it. Peace. Happy now. Now the vibrate, of course. We're not going too far in the future. We're not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace.